Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. We are jumping right into what has to be the story of the 2025 international season, South Africa managing that incredible back-to-back win in the Rugby Championship.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, winning it once is tough, but back-to-back, they haven't done that since the old Tri-Nations started way back in '96.
Exactly. It feels like more than just, winning a trophy. It suggests a real shift towards sustained tactical dominance, maybe.
Well, the sources we've looked at are definitely pointing that way. They're talking about this new narrative in SA Rugby, calling it the beauty and the beast.
Okay, Beauty and the Beast. Tell me more.
Right, so the beauty part, that's the attack. Fast, skillful, inspired by Tony Brown's approach. But the beast, that's that absolutely terrifying bench, the bomb squad. Still going strong.
Yeah, the bomb squad. So our mission today is really to pull apart Rassie Erasmus's playbook here. How did he actually forge this? It's not just having good players on the bench, is it?
No, not at all. It's about how he weaponized it. Turned substitutions from like a plan B into a guaranteed tactical punch.
Right. We need to figure out why this gives the Springboks such a clear, tangible edge over everyone else right now.
It really comes down to mindset, some clever engineering, and just raw power. It's a structural thing that other coaches, well, they have to plan for it first.
Okay, fascinating. And if you love insights just like this, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your deep dives. We're digging into these strategies every week. So let's set the scene a bit. This 2025 championship, it pretty much confirmed the status quo, didn't it? South Africa, New Zealand, they're still the haves.
Yeah, they kept the spoils, definitely. And unfortunately for Argentina and Australia, they're still sort of scrambling in that have-not category.
And that gap, it seems built on depth, right? You mentioned Rassie often went for a 5-3 split on the bench this year, which is maybe a bit less radical than before.
It is slightly more conservative than the 6-2 or even 7-1 we've seen. But, and this is key from the sources, the sheer quality in that front row depth, the heart of the beast, was just immense, unmatched, really.
So the idea of the bomb squad remains, even if the numbers shift slightly.
Exactly. Rassie's genius was setting up this system where the bench isn't just reinforcement, it's designed to be the climax of the game plan.
Let's go back to the original beast then, the bomb squad that burst onto the scene before the 2019 World Cup. What kind of talent pool were they actually dealing with back then?
Oh, it was incredible. They basically had 6 genuinely world-class Vorspellers, front rowers ready to go. Think about that. 6.
So they could swap the entire front row 50 minutes in with no drop-off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
You had Tendai Beast Mentawara and Stephen Kitchoff at loosehead, both incredible. Then Malcolm Marks and Bongi Mbonambi at hooker again, top tier. And Franz Malherbe and Vincent Koek holding down the tight head side.
That is just overwhelming firepower, especially when you think how drained an opposition front row feels after, 50, 60 minutes?
Absolutely. But, having the players is one thing. Getting them to buy into maybe not starting, especially the big names, that's a huge psychological challenge.
Yeah, how did Rassie manage that?
Well, there's a great story, an anecdote from Stephen Kitchoff on the Rassie Plus podcast. It's really revealing.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
He talked about this early meeting, just the front rowers in this little boardroom, and Rassie just lays it out, poses this really clever question.
Go on.
He asks them, essentially, what do you prefer? Being on the field when the game starts, or being there when the final whistle blows and you hear the cheers because you've won?
Wow. That really frames it differently, doesn't it?
Totally. And Kitchoff mentioned that Beast Mpawara, a legend, obviously straight up said he preferred to start, which is understandable.
Of course.
But Rassie's point wasn't about who was better. It was about strategy. He needed the absolute best from all 6, and that meant deploying them smartly across the 80 minutes to maximize the impact on the result.
So it's not about starters versus subs anymore. It's like
yeah.
Unit A and Unit B, both crucial.
Precisely. And Rassie felt, according to Schalk Bretz anyway, that some of that unique Springbok scrum DNA, that raw power game, had maybe faded a bit. He wanted it back.
He wanted them to embrace the scrum as a weapon again.
Yeah, fundamentally. He apparently challenged them when they questioned scrummaging for penalties constantly.
What was their reaction? Like, we can't do that every time.
Something like that, yeah. We can't scrum for penalties in every scrum.
No.
But Rassie's response was classic Rassie. Why not? This can be the thing that sets us apart.
Love it. So make the scrum a genuine attacking platform, not just a restart.
Exactly. He wanted those subs, number 16, 17, 18, to think of themselves as this incoming force. Their job was to be absolutely feared, to make the opposition groan when they saw them warming up.
That mindset, that clear objective, it must show up in the stats.
Oh, it does, big time. The data from the 2024 and 2025 Rugby Championships is pretty stark. South Africa's scrum penalty differential, it's just way out ahead, miles ahead of everyone else.
How far ahead are we talking?
Well, get this. Over the 12 matches across those two championships, the sources calculate the Baxters effectively earned about 26 free passes, guaranteed scrum penalties.
26. Over 12 games. That's more than 2 penalties per game, just handed to them by the scrum.
Yeah. The analysis calls it basically starting every game with a one-scored advantage, just built into the structure.
That's incredible. But is it sustainable? Focusing so much on the scrum, does it risk making them a bit one-dimensional, maybe sacrificing pace elsewhere?
That's always the balance, isn't it? But the evidence right now suggests the reward massively outweighs that risk. It's not just the potential points from penalties.
Right, it's field position too.
Exactly. 2 guaranteed penalties a game means easy exits from your own 22. It means launch pads near halfway. It means automatic entry into the opposition's red zone.
And think about the opposition. They have to spend so much training time just trying to cope with that scrum pressure, time the Bombs can use refining other things.
Okay, let's make it concrete. That final game of the 2025 championship against Argentina. Always a tough scrummaging battle. How did the Bomb squad work there?
It was pretty decisive, actually. The Bombs won 6 scrum penalties. Argentina only got 1. But the real killer moment...
What was that? There was one scrum where the BOKS, down to 7 men in the pack at that point, actually pushed the 8-man Pumas pack off their own ball. Turned it over.
Wow. A 7-man pack shoving an 8-man pack backwards.
Yeah, that's more than just a penalty. That's psychologically crushing. And crucially, 3 of those scrum penalties they won led directly to tries. Set up the attacking position.
So the beast delivers the platform, and then maybe the beauty converts it. The sources also mentioned something technical about Thomas du Toit, the tank.
Yeah, a really neat detail about his binding technique. Apparently, he uses an undergrip on the hooker's shorts.
Instead of the usual over-the-top bind.
Right. The traditional overgrip gives you a solid anchor, but this undergrip, it gives du Toit more flexibility, more ability to manipulate the angle.
How does that help?
It lets him target the pressure right into that gap, that seam between the opposition loosehead and hooker. Creates instability, generates huge lateral force. It's real scrummaging engineering.
And all these penalties piling up, that creates other pressure too, right? Like yellow cards for repeated infringements.
Absolutely. Opponents are constantly under that threat. Plus, it gives the box license. They can try things in attack. Knowing if it breaks down, they've often got a scrum penalty advantage coming. They can go back to their set piece.
Which also feeds into their maul, another strength.
And the maul work is interesting. The sources say it's done a lot on feel. Not overly complicated calls, just adapting. Like that Marks try you might remember. The drive initially stalled infield.
Yeah.
But they didn't panic. They just sort of felt their way around, found the space on the wide edge, and Marks pops over. The opposition's so worried about the scrum, maybe they switch off for a second on the maul defense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are enjoying this deep dive into rugby strategy, remember to subscribe to Rugby Obsession for more exclusive content like this. So the beast isn't standing still. The sources are saying the current version is maybe even more powerful. Who are we talking about now?
Well, the starting front row is already immense, right? Ox Norge, Malcolm Marks, Thomas du Toit. World class.
No arguments there.
But then the bench comes on, that finishing power. You got Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Bongi Mbonambi often there too, and then the sheer size of Wilco, what is he, 144 kilos. Just enormous pressure.
And there's potential for it to get even stronger.
Seems like it. Gerhard Steenkamp is due back from injury at some point, and Jan-Hendrik Wessels, who's massive at 120 kilograms, moving to his natural spot at hooker, or rake, as they sometimes call it.
120-kilogram hooker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine that. Potentially 3 Bulls players on the bench, front row. That's serious continuity and power coming on late in the game.
Okay, so let's connect it all back. The beauty of the attack and the beast of the bomb squad. How does Rassie see them working together? What's the philosophy?
He put it quite simply, apparently. The bomb squad either come in and fix it when it is not going well in the park, or is a false alarm and maybe they don't even get onto the park.
Right, so they're the insurance policy. If the fancy attack isn't quite clicking...
Exactly. If the beauty isn't firing on all cylinders in that first half, the beast guarantees you keep territory, keep pressure, until maybe the attack does find its rhythm later on.
But Rassie's not just asking for scrum power from his forwards anymore, is he? There's this other layer now.
No, he's pushing them further. The sources mention he wants Tony Ball forwards, players with the skills and execution that attack coach Tony Brown demands.
So not just scrummagers. He wants, what, forwards with hands? Pace?
All of it. Extreme stamina, speed, skill. They use the phrase PSDT engines, thinking about Pieter-Steph du Toit's incredible work rate. Forwards who can do it all.
Which could mean even more flexible bench splits in the future, 6-2, 7-1 again, maybe hybrid players.
It definitely suggests that. A 7-1 split with forwards who have that high skill level becomes really viable, or even players who can genuinely cover forward and back positions. The options expand.
And when they get that balance right between the beauty and the beast, the results are devastating. Look at the second half of the championship this year.
Yeah, after losing 2 of their first 3, which was a bit of a shock, they just clicked, what was it, 19 tries, 139 points in the last 3 games.
Something like that. An average of over 6 tries and 43 points per game down the stretch. Just blew teams away.
So the takeaway is pretty clear, isn't it? The world champs are back on top because they have this calculated, constantly evolving weapon in the bomb squad.
It's a structural advantage, something baked into their system.
Yeah, it picks up the slack if the attack stutters, it guarantees a certain level of physical dominance, and it forces every other team in the world to really think about how they structure their own bench and manage the full 80 minutes.
So thinking about that tactical approach, weaponizing the set piece like this, what are your thoughts listening in? What's the future for the scrum in rugby? Are we going to see other teams trying to replicate this?
It's a big question. Can anyone else actually assemble that level of front row depth?
And how does this South African beauty and beast model stack up against, say, the systems Ireland or France are running? Different approaches, right?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your comments and your analysis on this.
Definitely. Rassie and his team, they really are pushing the boundaries, finding new ways to leverage the fundamentals of the game. And the sources show pretty clearly that innovation, even in the tight phases, is key to staying at the top.
Absolutely. Don't miss any of our future deep dives. Make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession today.
Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.